we are in the process of raising a IPO round of investment from private equity investors. And we are on track to go for an IPO in 2 years' time.
Kiran, it's Nancy here, and I also wanted to ask you about, speaking of treatments, at Biocon, you are working with your own treatments, including the repurposed psoriasis drug. And just walk us through where you are in that process, because you've already seen sales surge as you await more advancement in the stage 4 clinical trial. What do you expect going ahead?
Well, as you know, Nancy, we've repurposed this drug and got an emergency use authorization in India. And in India, of course, we have seen it benefit over 2,000 patients, and we are at this point in time conducting a phase 4 study to get more real world evidence. But in the meantime, our partners in the US, Equilium, have also submitted an IND a few weeks ago, and we are hoping to initiate a global phase 3 study, to basically get it approved in other parts of the world.
Okay, and if that comes through, what kind of potential are you looking at in terms of the potential for sales to rise?
Well, the way we look at it is that where COVID is going to come under control with the combination of vaccines and treatments, and drugs like Itolizumab will definitely have a big role to play. But I think this actually, allows us to enter the market with a very interesting drug that can actually control CRS, or cytokine release syndrome. And as you know, the CRS is present in many disease indications, including sepsis, including cell therapy, and many other situations. So I think it has a much wider use. And therefore, we are very confident that this is a drug which is already showing a lot of promise in graft versus host disease. So we believe that it has a great future.
How are you tackling the complex and sometimes sensitive issue of pricing the vials of drugs like Itolizumab?
Well, in India, of course, we have been pricing it at a fairly cost-effective, price level for India. But I think going forward, we will be looking at how to basically price these drugs, given the kind of investments we are making in clinical trials. So I think I will leave that to our partners, Equilium, to formulate the pricing strategy in other parts of the world.
Kiran, as we were discussing the cases in India, the toll is just so high, but do you think, sitting there on the ground, that the worst perhaps could be over? Have we reached the peak?
Well, let me put it this way. If you look at it, the number 8 million sounds daunting and sounds, fairly alarming. But on the other hand, if you look at the number of active cases, they are below 1 million. So that should give you some respite, knowing that the recovery rate is so high and the fatality rate is coming down. And as you yourself said, the daily positive cases have halved over the last week. I think gives us some hope that things are coming under control.